Welcome, traveler, to Third Eye Frequency, where we mix fate, game mechanics, and psychological damage until it accidentally becomes spiritual growth. I'm your host, the Neon Priestess, and tonight's MiniQuest concerns a very specific phenomenon. A person realizing they may have outgrown the life they built in survival mode. And based on these cards, the universe appears to have initiated the awakening sequence without waiting for user confirmation. Because these cards don't feel random, they feel like the moment in the game where the map quietly expands, and suddenly you realize the tiny starting village was never the whole world. So, Frequency Traveler, if life lately has felt emotionally transitional, creatively restless, or like some invisible force keeps whispering, "There's more for you than this," congratulations, the main quest may already be in progress. Is this you? Let's do a quick vibe check. Welcome to the Vibe Check Lounge, Frequency Collective. Today I have drawn the Siren, the Nectar, and the Mother from the Wild Unknown Archetypes deck. So this mini quest may be for you if life lately has felt creatively restless, because these archetypes together feel like something inside you has started waking up and it's becoming increasingly difficult to ignore. The Siren says there's something magnetic emerging from you right now. Not forced attention-seeking, not performance, just pure magnetism. The kind that happens when a person starts becoming more emotionally authentic and suddenly everybody around them can fucking feel it.
Dee Dee,
Yeah.
how about dinner tonight?
Yeah, okay. Wow, what a change.
The Nectar says your spirit is craving something sweeter than survival mode. Not just productivity, not just responsibility, not just getting through the fucking week. This feels like somebody whose soul has begun aggressively rejecting emotionally flavorless gameplay. And then we come to the Mother, which is spiritually loud as fuck. Because this archetype says something wants to be created through you right now. No, not a literal baby, but a version of you, a project, a purpose, a voice, a calling, an identity, something real, something electric.
Alive! It's alive! It's alive!
Because this doesn't feel like random dissatisfaction. This feels like the moment in an RPG where the soundtrack changes, and suddenly the game starts treating you like someone of importance. So, your quest, should you choose to accept it. Investigate what part of yourself is trying to emerge from containment. Potential rewards include emotional fulfillment, creative expansion, catastrophic levels of self-awareness, and the terrifying realization that your soul may actually expect more from you than coping efficiently. If this sounds like a questline you're emotionally prepared to spiral beautifully through, let's dive into the main spread and gather some additional intel. For the first set of cards, I have drawn the Magician, Ace of Cups, and Six of Swords. Alright, Frequency Traveler, this section is already off to a spiritually obliterating start because this does not feel like somebody randomly deciding, yes, perhaps I shall pursue joy today. Nope. This feels like somebody who spent years building an identity around survival, only to suddenly realize the soul has other fucking plans. The Magician here starts off with the good news. You already possess the skills you need here. The intelligence, the creativity, the emotional depth, the adaptability. That weird little collection of talents you've been treating like miscellaneous character stats instead of an actual calling.
Swear to God you won't laugh. Okay. Can't believe I'm actually doing this.
Because the Magician is giving Traveler unknowingly possesses main character tier abilities while continuing to behave like an NPC with admin responsibilities. Then the Ace of Cups crashes the party like an emotionally unstable patch update, because this awakening did not begin logically, it began emotionally. This feels like someone starting to realize, oh, the things that make me feel alive might actually matter. Horrifying, inconvenient, deeply fucking rude of the universe, to be honest. Because the Ace of Cups represents creative longing, emotional awakening, spiritual expansion, the terrifying realization that your soul cannot be sustainably nourished by efficiency alone. And the Six of Swords bridging this combo is huge because this card says the transition is already happening. Not theoretically, not someday, fucking now. Somebody is emotionally leaving behind an old survival-based identity in real time. Because, Traveler, somewhere along the timeline, you learned how to survive, how to cope, how to be responsible, how to keep moving no matter how emotionally exhausted you were. And that genuinely deserves respect. But what these cards are trying to say is survival mode was never meant to become your permanent residence. The problem is, the moment a person starts reconnecting with authentic joy, creativity, purpose, or emotional truth, they become very difficult to emotionally sedate back into a life that no longer fits them. Which is why this energy feels so emotionally significant, because this isn't giving cute little hobby. This is screaming, your soul GPS system has begun rerouting the campaign. And, at the risk of going a bit woo-woo hocus pocus on ya, the wildest part is that I don't even think this transformation is coming from you anymore. I think it's coming through you.
The Schwartz, Lone Star! Use the Schwartz!
I can't. I lost the ring.
Forget the ring. The ring is bupkis. I found it in a crackerjack box. The Schwartz is in you, Lone Star. It's in you.
All right.
Which explains why life may suddenly feel emotionally strange lately, because the Magician says the power was always there. The Ace of Cups says the heart has finally entered the chat. And the Six of Swords says the old version of you already knows the journey has begun, even if the conscious mind is still standing at the harbor like, wait, we're like leaving? For your next set of cards, I have drawn Page of Swords, Seven of Pentacles, and Seven of Swords. Alright, Frequency Collective, this section explains why this transformation may feel so emotionally weird right now. Because despite all the awakening energy in the first section, this does not feel like somebody fully sprinting toward destiny with orchestral music playing behind them. No, this feels like someone peeking through the blinds at their own future like, okay, but what the actual fuck are we doing here? And seriously, the Page of Swords is spiritually cracking me up. This is curiosity mixed with caution, interest mixed with fear. This is you slapping your eyeglasses on the desk saying, with actual hope coded within, before I emotionally commit to this new identity, I would like to review approximately 900 additional data points. And the Seven of Pentacles says this process has probably been unfolding for way fucking longer than people realize, because this card gives quiet cultivation energy, the kind where somebody keeps planting seeds internally while externally continuing to function like a normal member of society. Meanwhile, spiritually, you've been changing for a while now, and honestly I think that's why the Seven of Swords here feels so important. This isn't deception toward other people. I think this is you hiding the magnitude of your own transformation from yourself. This is giving, I'm just exploring options. I'm just experimenting. It's not that serious. Surely the recurring visions of a radically different future mean nothing. Meanwhile, the soul is in the background flipping tables like, bitch, the main quest is actively fucking starting. Because the Seven of Swords here feels deeply self-protective. This implies that you've learned along the way that visibility can attract criticism, that authenticity can feel dangerous, that dreams can be fucking embarrassing, and creative risk, that just means vulnerability. Which results in part of you still wanting to move cautiously, strategically, quietly, as if destiny can somehow be approached without making eye contact. But here's the thing. The Page of Swords may observe the horizon, the Seven of Pentacles may patiently prepare the soil, and the Seven of Swords may attempt to emotionally camouflage the entire fucking process, but the transformation, yeah, it's still happening, like an unskippable cutscene. And honestly, this section is really feeling less like a fear of failure and more like a fear of becoming visible enough that life can never go back to the way it was before.
This is great! I can go with you and still come back and see Freddy at Christmas.
You can't ever come back.
Because some of you are no longer just surviving the campaign. You're beginning to suspect you are meant to create within it. For this section of cards, I have drawn the Hanged Man, Ten of Wands, and the World. This section here is where the reading stops feeling like creative curiosity and starts feeling more like the universe is quietly back to fucking moving truck, up to your old identity. Because the Hanged Man says this transformation has required a period of suspension, a pause, a liminal space, a weird in-between chapter where nothing feels like it fits right anymore. This is the kind of energy where the old life no longer feels emotionally sustainable, but the new life hasn't fully stabilized yet either, which is spiritually fucking exhausting, by the way. And clarified by the Ten of Wands, this tells me some of you have been carrying way too much shit for way too fucking long. Responsibilities, expectations, emotional labor, trying to hold everything together while quietly suppressing entire sections of your soul. And honestly, I think part of the exhaustion comes from the fact that some of you have been trying to drag an expired identity across the finish line. The Hangman is sitting there like a weary threat saying, "Traveler, the old character build is no longer compatible with the expansion pack." Because the presence of the World here is massive. This is not a small adjustment. This is not, maybe I'll try watercolor painting. No, this is big shit. Chapter completion, identity evolution, soul graduation, main storyline progression. The World literally says, a version of you is ending. Not because you failed, because you outgrew it. And I think that's what makes this section such an epic emotional linchpin. Because I think people tend to think transformation feels exciting all the time, when in reality, sometimes it feels like mourning a life that once protected you. Because in all reality, survival mode probably did protect you once. Practicality probably protected you once. Playing small may have even protected you once, but these cards are saying that coping mechanism has now become the cage. And the wildest part here is I don't think this reading is asking, will the transformation happen to you? I think the transformation is already well underway. The real question here is, how long can the old identity continue operating before the soul stages a full-scale hostile takeover? Because the Hanged Man is saying this perspective has already shifted. The Ten of Wands says the old burden has become unsustainable, and the World says the next chapter is not approaching. Traveler, it's already fucking here. And for your last set of cards on the main spread, I have drawn the Empress, Three of Cups, and Knight of Wands. Alright, Frequency Collective, after all that existential restructuring chaos, this section finally explains what the transformation is actually trying to move toward. Because the Empress here says, the version of yourself trying to emerge is not built around survival, it's built around aliveness. Remember, the Empress does not force, she attracts, and that distinction is huge because this card says the more authentically connected you become to your creativity, your emotional truth, your joy, your expression, your gifts, your instincts, your body, your voice, your desires, the more magnetically compelling your energy naturally becomes. This is the kind of energy where people suddenly start saying things like, wow, you seem different lately. You look happier. You seem more confident. Your skin is absolutely glowing. Meanwhile, spiritually, you're like, yes, Brenda, the soul finally fucking escaped containment. And the Three of Cups here is just beautiful because this card says, this next chapter is not meant to be experienced in isolation. This feels like community, celebration, creative collaboration, audience connection, finding your people, being witnessed, being appreciated, being emotionally understood. Ultimately, this card combination feels very like that weird little quirk you thought nobody would understand suddenly starts resonating with other people. That shit can be terrifying for people who spent years emotionally minimizing themselves. Because once your authentic expression starts connecting with others, you can no longer pretend your gifts don't matter. And then the Knight of Wands enters the chat like, excellent. Anyway, we ride at dawn, bitches.
And we may lose our lives. But remember, death is but a moment. Cowardice is a lifetime of affliction.
Nice.
To bed! For we rise at...
Because this is the momentum card. This is the energy of somebody finally becoming too emotionally alive to remain spiritually stagnant. And the Knight of Wands feels especially important after all the heaviness in the previous section. Because after all the uncertainty of surviving the liminal zone, this card says, the life force returns. And not quietly either, bitch. This feels like creating things impulsively, suddenly wanting to travel, starting projects, posting content, sharing ideas, changing your appearance, taking creative risks, meeting new people, reconnecting with passion, accidentally becoming charismatic again, potentially while sleep-deprived and over-caffeinated. The Empress says, your authentic energy is the magnet. The Three of Cups says, your people exist. And the Knight of Wands says, the soul is fucking done waiting for permission. Which explains why this whole reading feels less like self-improvement and more like a main character remembering who they were before the world convinced them to become emotionally manageable. For your bonus outcome card, I have drawn Eight of Cups, and for your timing card, I have drawn In Progress Now. Alright, Frequency Collective. First of all, let's give spiritual thanks to the gods that this reading did not end with, and then next Thursday at exactly 4:17 p.m. the universe drops a fully optimized Destiny package directly into your lap while Florence and the Machine plays in the background. And don't get me wrong, I do love me some flow, but the Eight of Cups says this transformation is happening in a much more emotionally realistic way. Quietly, internally, irreversibly. Like somebody slowly realizing, uh-oh, I can't emotionally go back to pretending this version of my life still fulfills me. And honestly, the fact that the timing card says In Progress Now is spiritually huge. This means the reading is not talking about someday or one distant magical future timeline. No, my frequency friend, the expansion has already begun. If this is resonating, the emotional restlessness is already happening. The identity shift, already happening. The creative awakening, already fucking happening. The soul level dissatisfaction with the old life, very already happening. The problem here is that we often expect transformation to look dramatic at first, like a lightning strike of clarity, or a spiritual anime monologue, or a mysterious wizard appearing in a parking lot. But the Eight of Cups reminds us that real transformation often starts much quieter than that. It starts when the old routines stop emotionally nourishing you, the old goals stop exciting you, the old identity starts feeling strangely hollow. The things that once helped you survive suddenly stop feeling meaningful enough to build a fucking life around. And the craziest part? From the outside, somebody's life may still look completely normal during this process. Meanwhile, internally, the soul is standing on a fastly receding shoreline, dramatically whispering, "We cannot remain in this fucking timeline." Because the Eight of Cups is not a chaotic energy here. It's a conscious departure. This is somebody emotionally recognizing, I appreciate what this chapter has taught me, but I'm not staying here forever. And paired with in progress now, the reading is not asking whether your higher self wants more. It already knows it does. The real question here is, how much longer can the conscious mind negotiate with the transformation that has already begun? Because now this whole spread is starting to feel less like finding yourself and more like remembering the version of yourself that existed before survival mode became your entire fucking personality. And I think that's why this reading feels simultaneously hopeful, exciting, terrifying, liberating, and emotionally overwhelming all at once. Because the Eight of Cups says, a version of you is already walking away from the old world because the soul has finally realized surviving is not the same thing as living. And Traveler, based on these cards, the new quest line isn't waiting for permission anymore. It's already fucking loading. And now, Frequency Collective, it's time for the final calibration sequence, because somewhere out there, someone's soul is currently trying to drag them toward a more authentic life while their nervous system files increasingly desperate customer service tickets. So, let's see how aggressively your awakening sequence is progressing. Grab your D10 and let's roll. If you rolled a 1 or a 2, you get the I'm fine delusion buff. You successfully convince yourself that this is just a phase, the existential restlessness means nothing, and the recurring fantasies about changing your life are probably just dehydration. Meanwhile, your higher self is in the background all. If you rolled a 3 or 4, you get suspiciously creative behavior. Suddenly you're starting projects, brainstorming at 2 a.m., reorganizing your identity, making playlists with devastating emotional lore, and researching hobbies like your soul owes money to the Renaissance. And if you rolled a 5 or 6, you get the Outgrowing the Timeline debuff. You attempt to return to old coping mechanisms and immediately realize, oh, wow, I can't emotionally fit into this version of my life anymore. Spiritual claustrophobia detected. And if you rolled a 7 or 8, you get a magnetism event activated. People begin reacting differently to your energy, more attentive, more synchronicities, more visibility, more you seem different lately conversations. Meanwhile, you're standing there like, respectfully you guys, I just think the soul escaped containment.
Oh, hi, good morning. I thought I saw you come in here. We met last night. Remember, I had the sled with me? I'm Jordan. Oh, here, I made you a sweater.
Last night?
Yeah, it's just something I do with my hands. I hope I got the size right. I'm pretty sure I did. I have a brother, and I use him for sizing comparison.
And lastly, if you rolled a 9 or 10, you get a full quest line unlocked. The awakening sequence accelerates dramatically. Creative momentum increases. Fear decreases. Authentic self-expression becomes unavoidable. And somewhere in the distance, your old identity collapses in slow motion while the soundtrack swells triumphantly. Frequency Collective. Apparently, your higher self has decided the era of merely surviving the campaign is coming to an end. And honestly, that's fucking awesome, because this reading was never really about becoming better. It was about becoming more yourself. Because the wildest part of awakening is that from the outside, it can initially look like chaos. Suddenly you crave different things, people, environments, goals, timelines. Meanwhile, your own nervous system is filing customer service complaints like, "Excuse me, we had a very stable, mediocre agreement in place here that you seem to have completely fucked." So, if you've been feeling emotionally restless, creatively charged, weirdly nostalgic for a future that hasn't happened yet, or increasingly unable to pretend your deeper desires don't exist, congratulations, Frequency Traveler. The awakening sequence may already be underway. And hey, if this reading resonated, don't forget to like, subscribe, and join the Frequency Collective for future quests, side missions, and emotionally destabilizing lore drops. This is the Neon Priestess, signing off the signal. And remember, sometimes the real main character arc is the version of yourself waiting on the other side of survival mode.